sometimes I play a puzzle or strategy game and I think I've got it, but I'm not sure. And then very quickly I realise I haven't, and I'm having a really bad thick day. That's exactly how I felt playing Sushi for Robots, which looks on the surface to be a very simple puzzle game about feeding the correct sushi to the correct coloured robot. But oh no, Simon struggled like a madman, and really, really struggled. But this game comes with lots of different modes to help you get up to speed with this game, and despite it feeling extremely difficult for me at times, I still enjoyed myself, so that's why we've got a review for it today. In Sushi for Robots, you have 3 different types of robots, a yellow, a purple and a pink one. And the idea is that they can only eat sushi of the colour of their robot. And they can only eat it within a certain amount of time, or turns. And every time sushi kind of moves clockwise around the conveyor belt that it's on, that's 1 turn. So you need to deliver the sushi as quick as possible with the right colour to the right robot. This starts off relatively simple by either just rearranging different sushi to arrive in a different order, or by colouring them differently by dipping them into colour pots so that they change different sushi type. You place the colour pots on the conveyor belts, but the moves to kind of shorten the run are placed offside, and they create bridges that allow you to leapfrog across, either cutting out parts of a conveyor belt or leaping between different conveyor belts, because as levels get more complicated, you might have 2, 3 or 4 different mini conveyor belts all going on at once that you'll need to move sushi back and forth between. However, the game doesn't stay at that level, and so it starts adding on things like portals, where it says like, oh, it goes down the green wasabi portal and then it pops out the other side, and that can be helpful for cutting off moves, but it can also be helpful for reordering things or moving stuff across different areas. And then suddenly you get a 4-way compass mover, which means that it's not just a bridge going back and forth, it can go any direction. And then you've also got the break mechanic as well, which means that you can use something only once and then it's broken afterwards. And that can be handy to turn, say, 1 piece of sushi into a certain colour for a certain robot, and then it won't be touched by any other robot as it goes around. And hopefully it won't be turning all of the other sushi into that colour too. This game has some good UI. I found the graphics to be a little bit dull in the background of it. I quite like the whole kind of sushi and the UI of that, and the robots look quite cute and all of that kind of stuff. It's just the browny backdrop of the floor looking a little bit manky is what kind of made this slightly duller for me. However, the atmosphere was more than made up for with the really excellent, I'm going to call it ambient Japanese restaurant elevator soundtrack. Because it falls somewhere in the middle, but it's super zen and relaxing, and it helps you kind of focus your mind on trying to solve all of these different puzzles. However, I still struggled, and this is where the accessibility options come in. So the first one is creative mode, and this is basically what I've spent most of my time playing Sushi for Robots on. Doing this mode removes that time limit, because it was that was causing me the problems. I could see how to do the level, I just couldn't see how to do it as quick as the game expected me to. So I found that although the game has 80 levels, it really has 160, because you can play through the entire game on creative mode and then solve the things slowly, but whatever your solution is in creative mode will 9 times out of 10 not apply to the actual normal game mode, and so you'll be able to solve the levels multiple times in different ways. There's also an option to just unlock all of the levels entirely, but doing that means that you'll be locked out of Steam achievements, so naughty for me, that's something that I didn't necessarily want to do. However, creative mode was really helpful for me to start to understand the mechanics better, and I almost wished that it had forced me into that mode to begin with, before then putting on the time limits or the move limits, because that was where a game that sells itself as being quite zen and chill became actually quite stressful, because I was going backwards and forth going, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it, whereas I really did feel like I got it on creative mode. So just pick your poison if this type of game is going to be really, really good and interesting for you. There is a story to this game, but it's not really a story in the normal sense. It's two robots just chatting rubbish at each other, trying to understand human behaviour. And I thought it was quite cute and endearing, even though it is largely quite throwaway, probably for most people. I quite like them having the discussion around like where people watch really bad TV shows because they're bad, and robots couldn't understand that because they're like, so would you recommend me watching that show? And they're like, no, it's terrible. And he's like, well, why are you watching it then? He's going, because it's terrible and there's so much better things on, but it's that bad, you have to watch it. And the other robot's like, what? So yeah, it gave a nice little cute insight into the future of what AI is going to have to contend with the human condition. Sushi for Robots serves up a treat for puzzle and strategy fans alike, particularly if you're a fan of automation-style games. And yeah, I think it's probably on the easier side for everyone else, just not for me. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.